Salutations, Imperial citizens and battle brothers. It's me, Brother Tobias. This is my quick review and upload video for the August data slate and rules changes. It's pretty minor, so I don't have to do a whole analysis on it. I'll just get you up to speed real quick because we didn't get a lot of changes this time around. Let's start out. Universal rules changes had one update, which is the move types for disembarking units, and this is basically just if you had a model like a Land Raider or an Impulsor or whatever the other factions have that do that. There was previously a problem with how you would exactly disembark from a transport with a special rule, because technically the disembark rules didn't have a rule that says you have to do a disembark. There's always like assault disembark or flash disembark or whatever it's called. And basically, rules is written, these rules didn't work. Now they work, and this is just a little fix. So if you just play the rules as they are meant to say what is on the datasheet, there's no problem. This is just a little fix here. Next, Space Marines. There is one rules change and one clarification. The Armored Spear Tip Rapid Embarkation Stratagem was fixed. Previously, the stratagem told you to embark into a transport if you disembarked from it, and then the core rules say you can't do that. And now the stratagem specifically tells you you can embark in the same turn you disembarked. So this is just a little clarification. Other than that, it's a little thing. The Wardens of Ultramar can now cleanly join any unit with another character. So there were some because they had the old rules text that says they can join with with Captain Titus, and people were wondering, can you actually run Marneus Calgar with the Wardens in one unit? Does that actually work? And the answer is yes, it actually works. But that's just what that is. There's a small clarification in the rules section for the Anvil Siege Force detachment. The enhancement Stoic Defender, which gives your unit a 6-up Feel No Pain while you are on an objective, now properly works. Previously, it said while you are on an objective marker, and technically there are no longer objective markers in 40k. It is now objective terrain, and now they just made sure it works as intended. On that note, this stratagem is this enhancement is actually pretty good, because this is one of the it's like the last rule in the game, I believe, that says if you get battle shocked, you don't have 0 OC. It says instead of going to dash, it now goes to half, which is honestly pretty good. Good enhancement. And last but not least, the Warhammer event companion had some changes. We have a change for which layouts are supposed to be played at tournament events. They previously they said tournament organizers should either set in stone which layouts are played, or the players should just randomize it. And now Games Workshop actually made a recommendation on what tournaments should be doing, and that is you just go ABC and then just rotate through ABC, ABC, ABC again and again, based on what games you are playing. So that's kind of what that is. Next, there is one other thing, I believe. Yes. So here we go. Plunder. Plunder refers to the terrain area, not the unit doing the action, and it is a clarification that beacon and in there therefore also burden of trust, I believe, those two secondary objectives. If you draw the card and your unit dies, you can't score the card anymore, which means you should just discard it for one command point. And that's that. And then there is one other change, which is some of the layouts changed. And by some, I mean almost all of them. I mean, not exactly all of them, but a lot of the priority assets layouts changed, adding a sixth objective, and a lot of layouts changed to have wider gaps for big vehicles like Land Raiders to actually fit through. One of the changes I was hoping for, which is that all of the take and hold versus priority assets maps would go to one center objective instead of two, to make the matchup a bit more playable for take and hold, because take and hold has a very bad matchup against priority assets in my opinion. Yeah, but they didn't do that. Instead, they buffed disruption by making all of the disruption maps six objectives instead of four, instead of five. And that's basically what that is. I will not go over all of these layouts now because you just have to figure out how that works. I think one of them actually has a small mistake. There was one where they accidentally made two of the expansion ruins asymmetric, but that is obviously something they will fix at a later date. Now, with that said, let's go into the Munitorum field manual. We didn't get any buffs here because the codex is coming out next month, but we did actually get some nerfs. Centurion Devastators went up 15 points for the 6 model unit, which is kind of absurd considering Games Workshop announced they were leaving the roster when the codex comes out. So this is like taking the terminal ill cancer patient and then breaking his kneecaps for no reason at all. Yeah, this is a baffling nerf. Like, if you wanted to play some Centurions for the last month, they were playable just as like a farewell. Man, you gotta suffer. They make you really suffer for it. A bit more importantly, the Land Raider Redeemer went up 10 points on the first and second, and also 10 on the third. So now it is 260 for the first two and 280 for the last one. So it is basically back to the old price at 280, but I still think if you play only one Redeemer, it's not that big of a deal. You can probably make that work. If you look at my GT list with the Assault Terminators, you should just cut two of the lightning claws of the thunder hammers, make that lightning claws again, and then you are good to go. Other than that, we have a librarian and terminator armor going up 10 points, no step up, but now 85 instead of 75. This is obviously happening because terminators are everywhere, and copping a nerf of 10 points on those in librarians specifically is a noticeable thing if you are playing two of those. Like, if you are running the temporal corridor up down unit and also the storm shields brick unit with fallback and charge, you will notice going up 20 points. But they didn't change the terminators. There's one nerf to Vulcan Heston, but nothing on dispositions. No changes on dispositions at all. Everything remains the same for this. So this is like not a buff exactly, because you are losing points on your models. But now if you run a Marnius Calgar and Assault Terminator Brick instead of a Librarian and Terminator Brick, you didn't go up 10 points. So at least that is something. The only thing, if you play in pure Ultramarine list without Librarius, the only thing that went up is the Redeemer by 10. And maybe you were not even playing a Redeemer because you were on Ceramite Sentinels or something. Anyhow, that's basically everything I have to say about this little update here. Overall, I wish they would have dropped some of the Ultramarine points, or just not change anything at all, considering there's a codex coming real soon. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure a bunch of the Battle Brothers have been wondering what I think about the units leaving the codex, the Predators, the Vindicators, and the Centurions. And if you really want to have my thoughts in video form, I will gladly make one if you go into the comments and tell me about it. But other than that, I would rather discuss changes like this when the new codex actually comes out. And with that said, courage and honor, Battle Brothers. We march from a crack. Thank you for watching. We have memberships on the channel now. If you want to unlock the chapter badge and the two emotes looking left and right, consider joining the membership. I made it as cheap as possible. And with that, Brother Tobias out.